Ooh. Barbara did a good job today. Ooh, let me. Oh, feeling like Yoru right here. Ooh, kind of clean. Oh, ow. Brad? Brad, what you do that for? Hey, yo, bruh. Just a joke. Just a joke. Chill. What? They're watching this, you know? You want to 1v1 me in Brawlhalla? They're watching this. Oh, really? All right, bet. Look, if you win, I'll give you a surprise. I'll probably buy you something. But if I win, you let me run today's show. All right, hey, yo, bet.
2 seconds later.
Bruh. 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 Bruh.
All right. Look, I can at least beat you in Super Smash Bros, bro. I'm a cloud man. Hey yo, chill. Just a game, and a bet is a bet. So I'ma run today's show. All right. Hey yo, Brad. Can I at least do the podcast section? I really like this week's topic. You sure are stubborn, my bro. All right. I'll let you take over the podcast section because you my homie. All right, man. I'm gonna pack up and see you around. Make me proud as a host, man. Yeah.
5 more games of Brawlhalla later.
Ooh, this looks kind of cool. Don't you guys agree? Kevin left this here by accident, I think. Looks kind of cool. I wish Valorant does something like this at Butterfly. Nah, right? All right. Welcome back to Gotta AFK, where we discuss about everything in the esports scene and everything about esports news. I'm your new host, Bradley DeMarcus DeJean III, and it feels good to be a host, you know. I know you guys are kind of bored of Kevin now because he's been hosting all these times for 7 shows straight. I'm pretty sure you are kind of bored of him, right? So I'm here to spice things up. So to start off the show, I'll kick you guys off with a game. Since I proclaim myself a pro Super Smash Bros. Player, guess who my main is? Let me give you a hint. He's decked out in red shiny armor with a big helmet. He looks majestic. That's all the hint I can give to you. But, you know, leave a comment about who you think it is and wait until the end of the video to find out the answer. All right. Anyways. Welcome back to Gotta AFK, and on today's show, I'll be giving you a recap on the VCT Master Tournament and a podcast section on how the gaming community is really like versus the stereotypes. But first, let me give you an update on the recent Sinatraa drama with his ex-girlfriend and all that. So let me give you an update on that news. As many of you might know, pro Valorant player and ex-Overwatch pro Jay Sinatraa Wong was accused of sexual assault and sexual misconduct by his ex-girlfriend, Cleo Hernandez, which was a super big drama that's been going on around the internet right now. So this is an ongoing investigation, and I'm here to give you the full story. On March 9th, Cleo Hernandez, Sinatra's ex-girlfriend, published a tweet with the caption of "My last relationship" and a linked document named Jay. I won't be going into detail for this document, but rather a brief summary. In the document, Hernandez states that she and Sinatraa dated for 9 months, and during that period of time, he made unwanted sexual advances as well as sexual abuse. Not only that, Sinatraa would also track her location, and if she wasn't at the location she said she was, he would accuse Hernandez of cheating. she was basically living in constant fear, as she stated herself. And all of these claims are backed up by text messages, Discord chat history, and even an audio clip, which for obvious reason I won't show here. And after this tweet went viral, both Sentinels and VCT took action. Sentinels released a statement saying, "We are aware of the current situation regarding Sinatraa Wong and have launched an investigation internally. While the investigation is pending, he is suspended from the team, and we will provide a further update once the investigation has concluded." And Sinatraa, though, did come out with a Twitter longer denying the allegations, but willing to fully cooperate with the investigation. This is going to be a long-lasting investigation, and I do hope they solve this case as soon as possible so we can find out about the whole entire story. If anything comes up, your boy and Kevin will definitely give you an update on this. Alright, the Valorant Masters tournament has finally started, and man, the first week of this was already super hype. The tournament started off with Gen G against Team Envy, and it was a wild battle. It was trades after trades, and I mean just a huge back and forth between both teams. But Envy's roster is just too insane. With the last map being Bind, Envy takes the win for the first Masters game. Next up is XSET versus FaZe Clan. Oh my, this took an unexpected turn. If you recall, XSET is one of the 4 teams that was directly sent to Masters. However, they just didn't perform during these games, and they went 0-2 against FaZe Clan. FaZe is on a hot streak. With the ongoing investigation on the drama surrounding Sinatraa, Sentinels had to find a substitute player, and wow, they managed to get one and only tens. The one and only tens, man. And this was also a game of endless back and forth trades and having no clear winner in the rounds. However, after a long 2-round battle, Sentinels decided to focus up and say, "Joke's over, you're dead," and claim victory with a 2-1 score. Last game was 100 Thieves versus Immortals, and this game made me think that we are seeing a pattern here. That some of the teams who barely even made it to Master Tournament are now popping off. Especially with 100 T's roster change of replacing Dicey with former CSGO pro Ethan, the top frag, and they ended up with the flawless victory of 2-0. My homies, it is so exciting to see the underdogs finally rising up, and you know, the people who barely even made to Masters are actually popping off. Especially props to FaZe Clan, who is still on a win streak right now. So I am excited to see what these team has for us. And tune in next show for a full recap of the VCT Masters. Yeah. Hey, Kevin here. Basically, when I was recording the podcast, the audio, my audio wasn't recorded for some reason. I don't know how, I don't know why, but apparently it was not recorded. So in this podcast, we will be discussing about gaming stereotypes and like about the gaming community and everything else, like what the gaming community is really like. So instead of having my parts, so I'm just going to include what Ethan and Andy said, because they brought up some really amazing points, and I still wanted to include the podcast. And obviously, to not to disrupt anyone's schedule, we are not going to do a redo. So for this podcast, we will only have Ethan and Andy. But, you know, enjoy. They have some amazing points that they brought up. So, enjoy.
Hello. Good morning. Welcome back to Gotta AFK podcast. Today we are joined by your host, Kevin Wu, and what's your last name?
Andy
What's
Lee.
your full name? Andy Lee, okay. And Andy Lee. at least for me, I know that my parents like look down on playing games. Like every time like I get in a fight with like my parents, they always bring up like, "Oh, you're always sitting at your computer playing games." Obviously, I'm not always playing games, but you know, they see me on my computer, they automatically assume that like I'm throwing my life away playing games. But like, I think what some parents need to realize is like, it's a new age, you know. Gaming allows a lot like bigger opportunities for people, you know. There you can like do there, it opens up like a wider range for people to actually make a living off of the gaming community, if you get what I'm hinting at, you know.
I think a lot of those stereotypes are very, very untrue. Like, my parents, they don't really think anything of gamers. They just hate video games in general, as in, like, I'm in, like, 7 extracurriculars. I have, like, a 4.0 GPA, and every time I hop on, like, League of Legends to play with my friends, they're still, like, you can just, like, visibly see the disappointment in their faces, you know? Like, they don't directly say it, but they go, like, and you can visually tell they're disappointed.
Yeah, I get what you guys mean. Like it's I feel like it's maybe just because they don't understand it, you know. Like we were they obviously probably had games when they were kids too, and like I'm pretty confident that their parents did the same exact thing that they did to us. But you know, I think it's just as generations improve or like move forward, parents will always not understand what kids are like doing now, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like no matter what kids do, like parents would always find something for the kid to be disappointed in their kid for, you know. Like so a lot of people like parents use like video games and everything, like they'll always find an excuse to be disappointed in you.
It's also a great way to learn how to like work with other people, because in like a lot of games, especially like open world games, there's a limited amount of like set resources. For example, if you play Terraria, there are certain weapons that you really want to make better weapons, but there's only like 2 of them in the world, and there's like 4 people in your server. So it really teaches you how to like work with other people and compromise to share and evenly distribute your resources.
Andy, you also brought up a really interesting topic that I wanted to bring up. You said that, you know, video games helps us to work with other people, and this is for everyone who has like trouble like convincing their parents or like that, like, you know, video games isn't just for throwing your life away. You know, I know a lot of parents like would say like, oh, you know, you're wasting your life, you're burning out your brain, video games make you more violent, yada yada yada. You know, a lot of people don't realize like, you know, video games are a lot more like mentally challenging now, you know. You have games like CS:GO, League, or even Valorant to some extent. It's like that are like mentally mentally challenge you, you know, and it causes a lot of like people, especially those hardcore players, to like, you know, build good, great, amazing relationships with their teams, you know, and they use their brains, and it's like it causes you to think and adapt, you know. It's you know, at least from my experience, I've watched my friends like adapt to like many different games, and not gonna lie, for me, I've never been able to adapt that quickly. But for them, it was always like so amazing to watch them. It's like, you know, they get in for 1 week and all of a sudden they're serious, you know, like they know all the call outs, they know everything, they're grinding it out, and I'm like, what, you know, and it makes me think like, they now know how to think like the other opponent. They know how to shift their brains in order to fit their environment, which is I think is a good mental skill, you know. Like you get put into a new job, and you like you're in a very different environment. You got to learn how to adapt really quickly. For these people, they've been doing that their entire lives. You know, they've been playing new games every like few months, and then now they adapt. When they get into a new job, they can adapt quickly. You know, you don't even have to go into a real job. You know, it's just you open up that mental landscape for you in order to control how your brain thinks. And I think that's something really important, because a lot of parents would say like, you know, you're actually decreasing your IQ, but I would actually beg to differ to say like, you know, you might actually be increasing your IQ whenever you play games. You know, you're doing a lot of stuff to your brain that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So like one more thing on the idea of like video games being useful is that if we look at like a lot of the things that they want us to do in like, or at least like parents want us to do in life, like doctor, surgeon, whatever, a lot of these things require like good hand-eye coordination or understanding of like machines and stuff, which usually like video games give you. Like if you look at surgery, at like high-level surgery with like tiny little like micro areas, what they use is they don't use their hands because it's too shaky. They pilot, and the surgeons will actually take control of a machine and do the surgery with the machine. So it's like the same thing with your video games. When you're using your hands to control like different characters or control different parts, it's the same thing in real life. Like those hand-eye coordination skills can be applied to practically any job in the real world.
Yeah, I think that now another thing, like a lot of at least coming from me, you know, Asian parents, that like whenever they're talking about occupations that they want you to get into, they always bring up an occupation of high pay rate, you know, doctor, lawyer, engineer, yada yada yada, like the three main pillars of being of like being an Asian child. You've always heard these three that your parents have wanted you to be at some point in your life. You've probably heard that. Like I can guarantee if you're Asian, you've probably heard that. But I think Asian parents, like, you know, they're not exactly like well versed in what we're going through and what we are surrounded by, you know, like gaming community and all that. I think like they don't know that people actually make a lot of money off of gaming, you know, like Twitch streamers, they make a lot of like ad revenue from sponsorships and all that. Like I think there was a Fortnite tournament a few years ago. This kid won like 20 mil, right?
I think
Like,
like
prize
$6 million?
Yeah, the prize pool was like 20 mil, and I was like, whoa, you know, like if my parents knew about that, like they'd slap me on my computer 24/7. But you know, I know some of my friends, they've wanted to pursue passion, like careers of soul gaming, and I know their parents haven't been supportive of it, but you know, me and everyone else around them believe like, oh yeah, you could totally do it, like you have the skill level to do it. You could totally get into like a team and do some good stuff with it, because that guy, he was like one of our like best players in my group, and his parents, like, they just weren't supportive of it at all, you know. Like they kept pushing him to do stuff academically, like, which obviously you should do. You should always like get your full graduation and everything, go to college if you need to, but you know, like at the same time, it's like still the parents have to realize like there is still like the gaming community does have money opportunities, you know, that can bring in a lot more money than even like your normal like middle to high class worker can get sometimes, you know.
Thank you, Andy and Ethan, for the great podcast discussion. It was really amazing discussion. Thank you guys again. And that wraps up our show. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And also, don't forget to go watch our main APN show, which airs every Friday at 1 p.m., where we discuss about non-esports news, the more local, national, and international news. And also, the answer to the question, the game that I proposed to you guys, that my main for Super Smash Bros. Is not like Kevin, it's not Cloud, it's actually Falcon. Ooh, I'm an OG player. Yeah, look at these girls. Anyways, also, I think I've got an idea for next show, some content for you guys for the next show. So I decided to actually, because I felt bad for just taking the host role from Kevin, so I decided I'm actually on Steam right now, about to buy him Valheim so he can play with his homies and create some, even maybe a podcast discussion next show. Yeah, be sure to tune in for that, for some Valheim content on Gotta AFK. This is going to be exciting. Anyways, enough talk. How does Kevin really end this off? It's like, this your boy, Bradley DeMarcus Deshaun III, and now I gotta go AFK. I did it, whoa!
Y'all have free time?
No,
Y'all
we
have free time?
sacrifice sleep. It's a sacrifice. Oh, this poor man. This poor man.